with my partner, Pamela Morgan, and our chair of the NGO CSW, Huri Gerulekian, who unfortunately is having a little bit of trouble getting on today. So we are going to kick off this orientation. Thank you again so much for joining us. I'd like my colleague Pamela to say hello as well. Pamela?
Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. We are so pleased to have you here for this critical meeting. Last year we had some reports that people did not really understand the Pathable platform. So today we hope that you will leave here with a clear understanding of the platform of the NGO CSW Forum and of your responsibility as an attendee to spread the word and bring lots of advocacy. But we'll talk about that later. Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you, Pamela. So again, thank you so much on behalf of our chair, Huri, who will join us shortly. We're so excited to give you this welcome for this participant training. And whether this is your first time or your fifth time, we want you to engage in the forum. So first of all, what is the forum? This year, as in last year, the NGO CSW Forum will be virtual. It runs from the 13th to the 25th of March, which is parallel to the UN Commission on the Status of Women. The forum really is a place where we, the NGO CSW New York, facilitates a platform for the voices and leadership of feminist and women's rights organizations globally to advocate for their inclusion in the UN deliberations in pursuit of gender equality and women's rights and all rights. Particularly, this is around the Commission on the Status of Women. It's a place where we put into action our vision, which is a world without sexism, sexual violence, or discrimination against women and girls and gender non-conforming people in all their diversity, where we push for economic, political, and social policies for our empowerment and well-being. And first and foremost, it's really a place to engage, to educate yourselves or educate others, and to network. And I really can't stress enough the importance of the forum during this time at the UN, when we are looking within the context of the COVID pandemic. We're looking at issues that are so important in our lives. And we know that your involvement in the UN is critical. And so the NGO Forum is really the gateway to meaningful involvement and learning about advocacy on the issues you care about. This year, the CSW priority themes, climate change, a safe environment, and awareness of disaster risk reduction, and the secondary thing on women's empowerment, women's economic empowerment, are issues that we all care about very deeply. The NGO Forum will offer so many opportunities to advance on these priority themes. The forum will offer over 750 parallel events that you can explore and engage in. It will offer 11 conversation circles, which are an in-depth session, which will also include youth facilitators and youth perspectives. The forum will provide a platform to enable you or your network with many other colleagues involved to engage and connect. We are projecting 40,000 registered participants for the forum. So first, I really want to recommend that you register for the forum. And I know my colleagues will be adding the links in the chat. Register for the forum, register early, register before March 13th, so that you can explore a host of parallel events, and you can explore also the exhibit booths, of which we have over about 15, which can have their own activities within the forum, running parallel to the forum. And you can also connect with other participants. You can develop your profile, and you can connect by sharing your details and your card. So with this, we will be going through a lot of the details of the forum with our colleagues here from the NGO CSW. I want to hand over to Pamela at this time, who will begin to talk about very important aspects of the forum that we care deeply about. And we will be having a Q&A afterwards. You can put your questions for now in the chat, and we will try to get to them in the chat, but if not, we can bring them up later at the end of the session. So again, thank you so much for being with us, and we value your participation, and I love seeing all of your smiling faces. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rosa. So now we're going to talk about the why in attending the NGO CSW66 Forum. The priority theme of climate change and environmental degradation is really compelling. We understand that this is a potentially catastrophic situation. I'd like to take 2 minutes to screen a short UN-produced video about the climate crisis to ensure that we're all on the same page with this. Devin, could you please start the video?
With further warming in the coming years, we expect to see new extremes that are unprecedented in magnitude, frequency, timing, or in regions that have never encountered those types of extremes.
You've been telling us for over 3 decades of the dangers of allowing the planet to warm. The world listened, but didn't hear.
It is unequivocal that human influence has warmed the atmosphere, ocean, and the land. We confirm that human-caused emissions of greenhouse gases are the main driver of global warming.
Climate change is here now, but we are also here now. And if we don't act, who will?
Thank you. And if we don't act, who will? What a perfect way to end that video. And I like this video because it's one of the rare times that we see women scientists being used as the experts. Now, we know that during these times of catastrophic conditions, women and children are the most vulnerable. And with conditions that are threatening our planet, it is safe to say that women will be the most affected part of the population. So this leads me to promote advocacy as a prime reason to attend the NGO CSW66 Forum. Yes, Studies have shown that women's leadership is key to climate action, to the development of policies and practices needed to reverse this threat. So please attend and raise your voices loudly to advocate for gender equality and women's empowerment in the context of climate crisis during the forum, and continue that advocacy all the way to COP27 in Egypt. That, however, is not the full story of why your attendance at CSW66 is important. Member states take notice of numbers. Last year, 27,000 people registered for the NGO CSW65 Forum. Member states took notice, and this year we had member states reaching out to us to include us in conversations and actions. So come and join the movement to influence governments to see the strength of women working in solidarity, helping them to begin to take us seriously. Use your attendance at CSW 66 as an opportunity to meet members of your country's delegations and to even reach out to representatives of your country. Let your hopes and fears be known. Additionally, come to CSW 66 for learning and exposure. Get information about best practices, good practices, and take it back to your communities to affect change. Come to network, as Rosa said, take advantages of opportunities to meet people. Whether you find a speaker that you like and follow up with that person after the forum, or if you find like-minded individuals at a conversation circle, the opportunity to network exists, even in a virtual environment. The New York Lottery has an ad that says you have to be in it to win it. I believe that that same adage can be used to describe the CSW experience. In order for all of our concerns to be considered, we have to be here, letting our voices be heard. We must be in the CSW orbit to win it, with it being equality, development, and peace for women and girls all over the world. And with that, I am very pleased to say that our leader, Hudi Gudalukian, is in the house, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her.
All right. Thank you so much, Pamela. And I mean, what a perfect example. I was like left out of the room for a few minutes. I couldn't get in because of whatever, some technical issues. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I am so happy and so proud of my co-chairs. This is their event, and Devin in the office is doing an amazing job. And I am actually glad that you all will hear from UN Women as well. We are taking all kinds of precautions for safety and security, and you will hear some more about her. There's an event on March 3rd coming up, but I'm just very inspired and grateful for all of you to take the time to be in this space. Like Pam said, if we don't do it, who will? And I just want to encourage you all to be patient with us. We're doing the best we can to address all of your questions. I say this all the time. I see in the morning all these hundreds of emails coming in because of platform, and I see our small team responding one by one. And if we're not getting to you right away, just be patient, and we are here to help you and support you. And like I said, before I stop, I just want to give a quick shout out to our co-chairs, Rosa and Pam, and thank you so much for leading us in such a graceful and authentic way. Thank you. On to you.
Thank you. And at this time, we're going to move on to virtual safety. Thank you so much, Hudi. We're going to move on to the virtual safety guidelines. We have to remember that the emphasis during the NGO CSW66 Forum is on respect and inclusivity. We want to respect the diversity of languages, opinions, and expertise. And we have to acknowledge that the isms are forms of oppression. What are the isms? Sexism, racism, classisms, etc. We have to understand that. And then we have to also understand that this is an anti-racist racist space. So we invite and we include and we welcome and value and revere an intersectional approach to feminism. And if that is not your value, we hope that you will think about it and join us with these values that we are impressing upon our attendees to adapt. Next slide, please. We will not tolerate any harassment, including but not limited to, and I'm going to read these. I hate to read slides, but I feel so strongly about this that I am going to read it. Offensive comments related to gender, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, mental illness, physical appearance, political affiliation, age, race, national and/or ethnic origin, immigration status, language, religion, or indigeneity, deliberate intimidation, sustained disruption of discussion, continued one-on-one communication after request to speak. And I want you to know that there are going to be repercussions for people who don't adhere to this. And if you are one of the people and there are repercussions, please do not play the victim. Please understand that these virtual safety guidelines have been given to you ahead of time. And I'm going to turn it over now to my co-chair, Rosa, to conclude.
Thank you so much, Pamela. And I mean, we really value what we've done around virtual safety, especially since last year was our first time doing this forum virtually. And with over 700 parallel events a year ago, we had very, very few, probably less than in a handful of incidents of harassment online. And we're really proud of that, and we want to continue that, which is why we're emphasizing it now. And I think that as, you know, two women of color, the first women of color co-chairs for the forum, both of us, we really care about this. And so as you can see in this slide, we ask that if you have experienced during the forum any form of harassment or hostility online, please report it to us at virtualsafety@ngocsw.org. And we have someone who's going to be monitoring that continuously. And we will address it. We will address it because we do not want this space to be a space where we have intimidation or harassment. So thank you. And now we are going to introduce one of our speakers today, Victoria Diaz Garcia, who is the Research, Reporting, Advocacy, and Partnership Civil Society Specialist at UN Women. And we're thrilled to have Victoria with us because she is also going to talk about any of this intimidation or reprisals for engagement at the UN. So we partner with UN Women in many ways, and we certainly come together on this important issue. So join me in welcoming Victoria. Thank you, Victoria, for being here.
Thank you, Rosa. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. So I'm just setting up my audio here to make sure that I can hear through my headphones. Okay, let me know if you cannot hear me, because you're not coming in through my headphones, but as long as you can hear me, I think
yes,
fine.
Yes, we can hear you and we see you.
Great.
Welcome.
So thank you so much. And I am coming in very quickly to share that we are organizing a webinar together with you, NGO CSW New York, and with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights on this issue of preventing and addressing acts of intimidation or reprisal for engagement with the UN in the specific context of the upcoming session of CSW. So we're planning this webinar for the 3rd of March from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We intend this to be an informal session to share the different existing guidance from the UN and also from you and your members, because this is obviously an area that we have to continue monitoring and working on improving, and to ensure that the spaces where we participate and engage are safe, and in particular digital spaces, because they have become more and more relevant. And in the case of CSW, since a lot of what happens has shifted online, digital safety is a key priority. So you probably already know that most of the activities will take place online, including all of the official side events, obviously all of your activities as well, or most of them, and most of the intergovernmental segments as well. So, I mean, I don't have anything like specific to share other than we want during this session to share the concrete existing guidelines, but also the experience and some examples from the UN and also from NGO CSW and members. But also we want this to be a discussion and Q&A session. We want this space to be safe. That's why we're keeping it, kind of like protected. We will be recording the presentations so that we can share afterwards, but we're not going to record the discussion and Q&A in case somebody feels that they don't want to share information and that, to have it recorded, obviously for privacy and protection reasons. And so we hope you can join us. NGO CSW New York will be sharing the concept note soon, I believe next week or so, with all the details and the agenda, the registration link. So keep an eye out for that. It will be coming soon. And I also want to say that this webinar will be done in English with simultaneous translation in French and Spanish. We'll also have international sign language and live captioning. And we really hope you can join us. So please save the date already, 3rd of March, 8 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you so much, Victoria. We should just put that date there again in the chat. I think we have that. Okay, great. And the link. Thank you so much for your partnership and working with us. We really appreciate you and your team. So now we were going to go over to Ivy Koek, who is our Vice President of NGO CSW. Ivy?
Oh, I've been upgraded as Vice President. But I will speak on the Advocacy and Research Group. They have been actively meeting since the summer last year. My co-chairs are Susan O'Malley and Erica Higbee. I'd like to mention them since I'm really speaking on behalf of all three of us. And they have been working very hard on the agreed conclusions recommendations. So this past year, the approach has been to, before even the zero draft comes out, that recommendations were put forth to member states. There were 6 of them. NGO CSW has shared them already to the listserv. If you haven't seen them already, you can look on our website at ngocsw.org. And also we have a social media campaign to share these 6 recommendations further, and there will be video clips. So please look out for that in the following weeks. We hope you retweet. And these are the 6 recommendations. on the agreed conclusions. Again, this was prior to the zero draft, and we are sticking with our recommendations even after it's been out. And also, besides this, there has been methods of work ad hoc group that has been meeting and putting forth recommendations. There have been already 2 separate meetings with member states regarding civil society's recommendations. The latest has been posted again on the NGO CSW website. All of the documents are there, and I'd like to just send or share with everyone that save the date was sent for another follow-up meeting. There was a hearing 2 weeks ago that was organized by Denmark and Costa Rica together with NGO CSW, and this will be organized this time by the committee, and we want to have a follow-up to the hearing and come out with concrete goals. It'll be, the agenda is set to be like a fireside chat, and going over the compilation document, the current negotiations. We hope that we can get some updates possibly at that meeting by the the negotiator. We'll see. Yeah, that's on the 24th at 8 o'clock. And I think that's all I will say at this time. Yeah, if there are questions later, then I'll address it then. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivy. So we're going to move on to the aspects of the forum. And what we are going to do is just give you a description of all of the components that make up the NGO CSW66 Forum. And we'll start with Consultation Day. And Hudi, could you please give a description of Consultation Day, the 50th anniversary event?
Absolutely. So we finally are moving forward with a live gathering at Apollo Theater on Sunday, March 13, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are discouraging anyone to travel to New York City just for this event, because this is the only event that we're going to meet in person. Everything else during the forum will be virtual on our portal. And because you will not be able to have access to this, we actually have gone out of our way and are investing to live webcast our Consultation Day. So you all will have an opportunity to be a guest at the Apollo Theater in Harlem by just going onto our YouTube channel and watching the live webcast. The program is similar to what we've done in the past, but it's just half the day. And we will have a high-level conversation. We will have an expert group that actually will talk about climate justice. We're partnering with We Do, which we're so grateful. And of course, there's also going to be some entertainment. We're opening up with the Harlem Youth Choir, and then closing hopefully with just the dance ourselves in the aisles. So yeah, it's a little bit of like celebrating 50th anniversary and kicking off CSW. It's really just for New York City area advocates, I'm sorry to say, because UN Women, UN Proper, and NGO CSW, we are not encouraging people to travel unless you're going to be in town anyway. Come and join us at the Apollo Theater. Thank you, Pam.
Fantastic, Hudi, and it's going to be fun. Even for the live webcast, it's going to be a good, informative time. So please join us virtually or in person. Let's move on now to virtual parallel events, and I think Devin is going to give us a description.
Yes, hi everyone. So most of you probably know already what virtual parallel events are, but for those who don't, the majority of the events at the forum are virtual parallel events hosted by different organizations and groups across the globe. We have an application where people can apply to host an event. And that's what most of the forum events are. So actually, most of the forum events aren't hosted by NGO CSW New York, but by global organizations, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can see all of the virtual parallel events on the virtual portal for the NGO CSW Forum. I'll put the registration link in the chat again. Make sure you register. It is totally free and it's totally open to the public. So don't worry about there being fees or anything. Feel free to register so you can explore all the different parallel events and other events that are happening. Yeah. And actually, I'll be showing a quick overview of the portal, so you'll actually see how to do that as well.
Thank you, Devin. And just as an aside, Devin is the brains behind this whole operation. She works night and day. She is an amazing human being. And we as a global group are very fortunate to have someone with her skill set. Let's move on to Terry Ince with Conversation Circles. Terry, could you just give a description of Conversation Circles?
Sure, thank you, Pam. And forgive me, I will be off camera because my connection is sometimes quite unstable. So the Conversation Circles are virtual circles which are held twice per day. They're 90 minutes each in the morning and the afternoon, and they will be held between March 14th to the 21st. Of course, the purpose is to discuss we have now 11 urgent issues related to gender and climate change in a safe, informal environment, while identifying key actions that can make a difference and inspire each other to commitments. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Terry. And I think it's important for us to know that with the evaluations we had for CSW65, our first virtual CSW, conversations ranked very highly. People really enjoyed them. So please make sure when you're making out your agenda that you add conversation circles. Next, orientation and advocacy training. And Safira, would you be able to give us a description of what we're doing for orientation and advocacy? Okay, Safira may be having trouble getting on. I know some people have reported that, so I'll just give a brief overview. On the 14th of March, there will be an orientation session for all people new to the forum. It's going to go over the nuts and bolts a little more in depth than we're able to do here today. It will be a 90-minute session. And then on the 15th of March, we'll have an advocacy training where we will go through the nuts and bolts of advocacy and how you can raise your voice and make a difference. So please be on the lookout on the 14th and 15th of March for orientation and advocacy training sessions. We'll move on to Margaretha for the virtual Artisan Fair. Just a description of what people can expect to find there.
Well, we are not quite caught up in terms of making all the decisions. So hopefully by mid to next week, all the applicants, all the people who applied will be on our platform. And you can do all your shopping for summer and pre-shopping for your Christmas or any other holiday or birthday issues. And basically, that's all I have right now, because we are not quite through yet, my co-chair and myself, in terms of having gone through the application. So sorry, we're maybe a bit later than last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaretha. Last year, I believe we had over 30 artisans who had their products. It was a wonderful array of goods to purchase. And I know this year is going to be equally exciting. And let's move on to our virtual exhibit hall. And could you give an overview of the virtual exhibit hall?
Yes, thank you, Pam. The virtual exhibit hall, it is actually quite similar to if you went to a live a conference, there's a space where you can come in where is organized by an organization, and then you can explore information about them, be able to leave your card, have conversations, and the organization that has secured this exhibit booth has an option of promoting their events, what they do globally, engaging with, hopefully we'll see the 20, 30,000 people that will be on the portal, because we can't tell how many it will be. Last year we had 27,000. So access to, it's a little bit more than just having a parallel event where you're in charge and in control of your space, and you can promote your organization and engage with participants. We have about 22 exhibit booths this year, so we're very happy for the support and organizations who are interested in engaging in this way. So thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you. I know my organization, Zonta International, is sponsoring a virtual exhibit booth. And we have so many activities that are lined up for this booth. It's going to be an added bonus for our members. So please visit different exhibit booths and see how you may interact with other organizations. In fact, you may find an organization that you'd like to join. We'll now move on to the interactive handbook and handbook ad sponsors with Devin.
Hi again. So the handbook, well, actually, I'll talk about handbook ads. So with handbook ads, all ads are featured on our virtual portal, which I'll show you later. So each handbook ad has its a special page where you can post anything you want, really. You can add graphics, videos, there's a chat feature so you can engage with participants directly. So that's the handbook ads. Oh, and also there are, each handbook ad has a graphic that will be included in our interactive handbook, which every year, if you've attended in-person CSWs in the past, you probably know that we have a handbook where when it's in person, it's an actual physical handbook. This year, it's more of a PDF document, but it has everything you need to know about the, sorry, there's a plane. I don't know if you can hear me well still. But it has everything you need to know about the forum. It has some really great welcome and introductions from Hootie, the chair, but also UN Women's Executive Director, the chair of CSW, as well as the full list of events. Sorry, how long was I unmuted for? The whole time?
Just a second.
No, just a second.
I don't know how that happened. That was weird. I don't know what I was talking about.
That's it. The handbook. You did it all.
The handbook.
High five.
Yes. So it'll document everything that happened at the forum, and it will be posted on the portal and on our website forever. So if you wanted to go back to see what this year's forum was in the future, you can do so. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. And Devin, is it too late to purchase an ad?
No, I actually was just about to put the links for the exhibit booth and handbook ad applications. They are still open. Our early bird rates did the deadline did pass for those. So the prices are slightly higher now that we're closer to the forum, but they're definitely still open if you're interested, and I'll put the links to that.
Fantastic, thank you. And now on to Hootie again for regional caucuses. Can you please describe them for us?
Yes, well, this is a very traditional gathering that we've done in person for years. And it really is to focus whatever the topic is or whatever topic the region really is interested in speaking about. And usually it's chaired by the co-chairs of our NGO CSW in the regions. And we're really proud, and Zarin actually is in the room, I think, still, for North America, Europe. We have a very strong group of excellent, well-trained experts who run these meetings. And the schedule is obviously on the portal, and I'm sure we'll put the link in here as well. But basically what that means is that whatever region you feel like you belong to, and sometimes you can go to other regions just to learn and network, but it is a space to have regional conversations, right? It's a caucus for the regions. How did I do, Pam?
Beautifully.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh,
And
while I have the mic, I just want to say so many people are asking about, their events, that things are missing. Again, I said it when I introduced myself earlier. Please be patient with our office. There's hundreds of emails a day and only 1 or 2 people answering them. We are a group of volunteer committee, right? And we only have 3 interns who work part-time, less than part-time, and 1 full-time employee. Everybody's emails are going to be answered. Everybody's issues are going to be resolved, just like last year. Sometimes it takes a little longer, so please be patient with us. Sorry. Thank you so much.
excellent. Thank you. And before we move on to our last category, YLYPs, I want to remind everyone that virtual parallel events are part of the NGO CSW civil society focused event. So parallel events are with civil society, and we have side events that are part of the governmental Commission on the Status of Women. So there are 2 different entities that are very similar in nature, but the host is different. So at this point, if we can move on to YLYP, and Devin, I think Safira is unable to get on. So if you could cover that for us, please.
I sure can. So the YLYPs, that stands for Youth Leaders and Young Professionals. It's a program within NGO CSW New York. Myself, Safira, and Saida Rizvi are the co-chairs. We have been having a preparation series specifically for CSW and the NGO CSW Forum. I'll put the link in the chat for that. But essentially every Wednesday from 12 to 2, New York time, we've been having different types of events to prepare specifically youth, but also anyone is welcome to join for the forum and CSW. So some of these events are more educational type events about the priority theme and the review theme. Some of them are professional development sessions and workshops. Some of them are more networking type of stuff. So I'll put the link in the chat to that. Definitely check out that schedule, and anyone is for sure welcome to join. And all of the recordings for those and pretty much most of the events we have are on our YouTube channel. So if you can't make them, please check out our YouTube channel for the recording. We also have an exciting global mentorship program this year. I'll put the link in the chat for this as well, but we have some really incredible men, women, gender non-conforming folks who have graciously volunteered to be a mentor with us. And these mentors are also of all ages, because we know there are definitely youth who are experienced and also have a lot of great advice and experiences to share with everyone else. We will have a mentorship networking session during the second week of CSW. So be on the lookout for that and the registration link for that. And I think that's it.
Great. Thank you. That's a lot of information and a lot of activity. Okay, it's time for us to move on to Devin with the virtual portal training, after which we will have a Q&A session. So please put your questions in the chat, and Devin, take it away.
Thanks, Pam. I just want to answer. Someone in the chat said, please post the link somewhere else other than the chat. All of these links are sent to our mailing list and also on our website. We do send all of the recordings and all of the resources we share in all of our meetings to our mailing list. So make sure you're on our mailing list to receive all of this information as well. That's super important. So for the virtual portal, so I'll just go through quickly some of the main, most important things. My biggest suggestion for the virtual portal is just registering and getting on there yourself and kind of just messing around with it, exploring it. That's really the best way to get familiar with it and figure out how things work. But we also have a training video recording of event that we have. We have a bunch of tutorial videos as well that I'll share that you can also use as a reference while you're going through this process of registering and exploring and getting prepared for the forum. So I'll go over how to register for the forum, how to update your profile, how to use the agenda and join events, and how you can engage with other participants and organizations virtually at the forum. So I will stop sharing this and start sharing this. Okay, so once it loads, you will see the homepage of the portal, but actually I'll start with the registration, I suppose. So the registration is on our website. I've also posted it in the chat a couple times. Maybe if Karina or Hudi could post it in the chat again. You will have to register for an account when you register for the forum. The login for this is totally new. It's not connected to, for example, like your membership login if you're a member with NGO CSW or for last year's portal. So you do have to register for a brand new account. And then once you register, it'll just ask you for, your basic information, also some other things like your organization and job title, which will be shown on your profile on the portal. But it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty, intuitive. So just go through this. There is a donation question. Like I said before, the forum is totally free. So when you see that question, don't worry, it's a drop down and you can choose that you don't want to donate. Of course, we always welcome donations, but it's definitely not necessary. So once you register, you'll get a couple different emails, but the most important one is the one that has the link to actually create your profile in the portal and join this website. So once you create your profile, you'll be able to join the portal here. And I'll show you how to update your profile if need be. So everyone's screen will pretty much look exactly like this, except for a couple differences, just because I'm like the admin for the whole thing. But everyone will have their name up here, and you can click the drop down to edit my profile. And it's super easy. You just fill in the questions. There's an option for a picture, your job title, organization, a bio or a description. You can also put links and graphics in here if you wanted to, the region you're working at, the topics of focus you're interested in, whether or not you're a member with NGO CSW. So that's pretty simple. Oh, and also here's where you will, you can also adjust some of your settings as well, like email notifications, stuff like that. Yeah, so the portal is pretty user-friendly. It is pretty intuitive. On the homepage here is where all of the information you'll need is. We have FAQs. I would highly recommend to just read through the FAQs, just so you don't miss anything important. We have a tutorial here on how to do everything on the portal. Right now, I'm not going to go into everything. So this is a really good resource also for you to use as a reference and kind of go back to and see how to do different things. So yeah, just explore the homepage to learn everything you need to know. The agenda with all of the events are in schedule. The agenda is like the full schedule, and my agenda is your schedule. So you can add different sessions to my agenda as a way to keep track of which events you plan on going to or which events are yours. So here is where you can see all of the events. You can also search here and filter via different filters. So you can filter by the host organization, you can filter by keywords that are like different topics, you can filter by region. So if you were looking for sessions about a specific topic or sessions from a certain region, that's the place to do so. And you can add sessions to my agenda really easily by just clicking on this little plus sign. And there's also, when you open the actual event page, which will have a description, really depending on what the organizer wants to have on this page. So you'll also be able to add and remove to and from my agenda here as well. And each parallel event page, actually most pages in general, have this discussion or chat feature. So if you maybe have a question about a certain event or want to get in touch with the organizers, this is a good place. And if you're an organizer and you want to maybe like ask a question to participants or post updates or something like that, this is also a good place to do that. You can see all of the different attendees here and contact them within the portal. So it would be essentially like direct messaging within the portal. There's no emails or anything like that that people have access to. So don't worry about people like being able to get your email. We have information about our advocacy and research group and our advocacy training guide. So check those out. This is what Ivy was talking about. We have some really great recommendations and briefs that the ARG worked really hard on. So definitely give those a look. The exhibit hall, we kind of talked about, but this is a good visual. So these are all the different exhibit booths that you can walk up to. And within them, there's all kinds of information about them, different links, maybe videos or graphics, also any events that they're hosting. So definitely also check out the exhibit hall. And handbook ads are a similar setup where it's all the logos and names, and you can just click on them to visit those as well. And one thing I will say about the exhibit booths actually is that you are able to, I don't know if you've noticed this talk now little toggle up here, but in exhibit booths, participants are able to actually like meet and greet with booth representatives through that talk now feature. So once it's the actual forum, there will be a section on each exhibit booth that allows you to connect with different booth representatives and actually have like a real conversation with someone to learn more about their organization or their work or what have you. And then the last thing is sorry, so many planes today. The last thing is the Artisan Fair. The deadline did just pass on Monday. And as Margarita mentioned, we are still going through the applications. So these will be up hopefully next week. But this will be similar to kind of the exhibit hall, where there'll be little logos or photos and a link to each online store so you can shop. And then the last thing I'll just say is how to engage and network and connect with different participants. So like I mentioned before, there is this people tab with all of the attendees. And if you wanted to go on their profile and message them, you totally can. Another great way is through those conversation or chat features on each event page or exhibit hall page or handbook ad page. And another way is through this message board. So this is accessible for everyone on the portal. So you can post so that everyone can see. Excuse me, sir. Sorry. Yeah, so this is also a great way to maybe like promote your event or connect with participants as well. And as you can see, there's already a bunch of posts. That's great. Yeah, I think that is it for the virtual portal. And I will put the links to those tutorial videos as well. Those will be really, really helpful. They really go through everything on the portal really slowly. So definitely check that out. Yeah, I think the next thing is the Q&A, right?
Great, thank you, Devin. Thank you so much. It is a Q&A, and we've already gotten some questions in the chat, and I was gonna ask you to just maybe keep your portal open, because we have a couple of questions in the chat that I just wanted you to go through. We have one from Carla Escobar. How do you connect your event to your profile? And that's a very important one, because many of you have registered for parallel events. So maybe you can just go step by step. How do you connect your event to your profile?
You can't. So that's something I have to do. So in our change request form, there's a question that asks for your event representatives to be on the event page. So when you're filling out the change request form, that's where you do that. And I'll put the link to that in the chat.
Okay, so it can be done.
It can be done, but you can't do it.
Yeah, you personally can't do it. But what we have asked when you register for a parallel event was all the information. There is still time to change all the information you want on your page. The deadline is March 1st. And if you have any other changes after that, we have to charge a $25 fee, because we need to get more additional technical help during that very busy time of the CSW, of the NGO forum. So if you want all your information on your page, on your event, fill out that form. We'll put in the chat and just put everything in there. Flyers, any other links to brochures or studies, put all of that in there, the names of your speakers, bio links, anything you want, and send it, and it will be put up. Okay.
Yes.
Now, the next question is related, but I just want to put it. Yasmin Harada asks, now if we did all this and registered to the forum and signed into the profile, what is the next step to access our own page?
So same answer, I think. Organizers for parallel events cannot make direct changes to their parallel event page on the portal. If you're asking how to see your event on the portal, you do have to register for the forum and go from there. But you can't you can't make edits to it. It has to be done through the change request form.
So a follow-up question, and this is really from Catherine Horvath. What can a page manager do then? How is the manager designated?
So the manager is designated. I mean, it's up to you, whoever you want to be there. Really, it's really not necessary, like for you to have a page manager, because really I think the only thing you can do is upload files to your event page. But you can't make any changes to like the description or the title, or like graphics that are visible. You can only upload files or videos that are then downloadable to participants.
Okay.
Also, I just want to also plug real quick that we did have a parallel event organizer training where we talked about a lot of this. Shayla, no, you cannot change your panelists. Literally, the only thing you can do is upload files. Again, like, so if you were an organizer with us last year, you might remember that we needed all of your speakers' information. They needed to be registered for the forum with a profile on the forum so that we could connect them to your event page so they could access the green room for your event. This year, that's totally not a thing now because you're all using your own Zoom or Google Meets, etc. Accounts. So we don't necessarily need your speaker information like we did last year. If you do want to list your speakers, I would recommend just adding them in the description when you submit a change request form. But yeah, so I think I kind of digressed. Well, right. So if you're like the organizer and you want your name to be there just so people know who the organizer is, you can definitely do that. But there's no like technical necessity that we like need that information from either you or the speakers because you'll be using your own Zoom accounts. I hope that made sense.
Great, thank you. So I was taking questions from the chat as Devin was talking. What I want to do now is just take 3 questions. The hands are up and give Devin a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna ask for Shayla Rao Mistry and then Yasmin Gantos and Manaz Harrison. So I asked if you ask a question and please be brief so we can get as many as we can in. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. Thank you, Hori, for the wonderful job you're doing. So my question is, can you, as in Devin, is it possible for you and your team to upload our flyer so it appears next to our event description?
Yes.
That's one. And then, yes, that's wonderful news. So I will send that. Then the next question is, we're going to have audience attendees who registered through the UN forum. And then we're also going to have those who don't register there, but come to Zoom directly from the link on our page. How do we aggregate them? How do we keep track of who's there? How many spots? Can you clarify, please?
So if you have like a registration for your like Zoom, like the same way that we had a registration for this meeting, for example, I would definitely, sorry. So how it will work, actually, I might as well share my screen. I think that might be helpful.
Thank you.
Let's see, what am I sharing? So with the portal, so every event page will have the link that you as organizers send us. So whether that be a registration link or just the direct link to your event, we do recommend a registration link. Anyone who's on the portal, that's how they're going to get to your event. So they'll have to register through that registration link anyway. And if you're just sending the registration link to your networks or whomever, they'll just be able to register directly. So this is a sample parallel event page. So at the very bottom, of course, now it's not showing for the stupid one. Oh, I know why. But yeah, so on every single parallel event page, there will be a link at the very bottom, and this link will is provided to us by you. So it will be the link that you want it to be for your event. And that is the way that participants will join your event. So there's really no way that they can like join some other event and it's not like yours, or it's a different like Zoom link or something. The link that you put, so like here, it'll say event link, and this will be where people, depending if the organizer sent a registration link like this, or if it's just like a direct Zoom link, that's how participants will join from the actual portal itself.
Great.
Rosa, do you mind if I use my chair power and jump in?
Of course, Hudi.
I want to say what Devin said in a different way, because I know this question comes up a lot and I've been trying to answer all of them. And I just want to say it in a different way because everybody's brain works differently. So there's a difference. And I know Devin said this exactly similarly. Anyway. So last year, you were all registering on Zoom links that we provided for your events. And there was a lot of issues as far as you not having control over your own event, your speakers couldn't sign up in time and couldn't get in. More importantly, you did not have control over the people who came to your event. And we had no rights to extract the list of people who signed up to give to you, because that was how the Zoom contracts work. Because of that, we went out of our way and did really tough negotiations with the portal and convinced them to allow us for you to use your own Zoom. So I just want to explain the whole thing so that it might make more sense to you on why it's happening this way. It's really to give you more control over your own event. So the only way people will come to your event is by registering on your link. They're going to come to you from our portal. So you have access to 20, 30,000 people who are on our portal because your registration link is on our portal. But once they register, those people are your audience, your guests. You can keep the list, you can communicate with them, you can allow people in, you can't allow, whatever it is that you need to do. I hope I didn't take up too much time. I just needed to add that.
No problem. No problem. So I had mentioned Yasmin and Manaz Harrison. So let's get to them. And I know that there are still many questions in the chat. So I may, as I see them, I may lump some in together. Yasmin?
Everybody, thank you so much for having us. It's a great session and very helpful insights. I do have a couple of questions. They're very short, and I hope the answers are also short. It's just to like save time for everybody and hope you have the same questions as well. So the first concern of mine is just the fact that in my event page, the time that I have is different than the time that I've registered for. So I registered for 1 p.m. EST till 3 p.m., but now I have it 12 to 2. So I just want to make sure that can be clarified and whether or not which time is clarified.
Related to that, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Related to that, someone asked, what is the time zone reflected on the page?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I did. Yeah, I saw that it's not EET, it's EST, which is the time of where I'm living right now in Jordan. So it's supposed to be 6 a.m. EET, which is 1 p.m. EST. But in the event page, it's 12 p.m. EST.
Here's the thing, depending on if it's what week it is, but we have in the US, we have a time change. We have a spring forward time change. So we have to keep telling everyone in the world about this time change. Right now, we're in one time zone, and then we will spring forward 1 hour for right before the CSW. It's going to change. So you have to check your time buddy or your world time converter.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what
So
I did.
that may be the glitch there, because the current time zone will be reflected on the page.
So all the parallel events, all the events during their forum will be in EDT. So if
Eastern
you're doing,
Daylight Saving.
yeah, so if you're using a converter thing, make sure you're using EDT. And also this might also cause confusion for others. The portal automatically converts all the times into whatever time zone you're in. So if the time on the portal is the time that it will be in your time zone, which isn't necessarily what we sent to you, because we send it to you in our time zone. So yeah.
I'll check that, but because I've used to do I used to do the world the converter, but I'll just check and see what we can do. But the other, just to get over the questions as well. I think the most important ones is can we remove? So I added in the first time that we applied, I added flyers and graphics for our event page. Are we able to remove them?
Yeah, yes, if they're the downloadable ones that'll show on the back end of your event page. If you send in the change request form that you'd like to be added to that event page. But
so I can remove remove the ones that I've already added, and I just add that note on the change request.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
By March 1st.
By March 1st, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to take much of your time, but the event page link, I need to change it. And so there are a few people who have registered already using the event link that I already attached. So how am I able to just let the people who have already read? There are just a few, I think there are a few chair people from the event itself. It's not new registered. So how am I able to
so if they've registered with your old link, you have to contact them via your registration report.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And in the change request, am I able to change the title of the session?
Yes. Yep.
That's all right. That's good. Yep. I'm so sorry. That's just another thing.
Well, I think you're also asking.
Yeah, I think I'm all set. I'm making
You also can email, please. There's a lot of hands.
I have. That's why I've questions. Like I've asked these questions on email, and I know you guys are really, really busy. So I just wanted to ask as much as possible here.
All right.
Thank you so much for your.
All right. Thank you, Yasmin. Thanks so much. Manaz, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for a great, wonderful presentation and clarification. My question goes back to the fact that we sent the flyer, we have sent the link, we have sent the bio, we have sent everything. And if we want for our event be linked up to our profile, I heard to do the change form. Doesn't everybody want to have their event hooked to their profile? So why not automatically get it done? I think that just about any one of us want the event to tie up to our profile. Can we not do this?
So actually, what we would have to do is link everyone who applied for the event. That's whose emails we have. If it's different, which it often is in a lot of cases, like if they want someone else there, then yes. But also you have to realize that it's literally one of us who's doing this, and we're really trying to not limit the amount of work, but make the amount of work more manageable. And there's really no technical necessity that your profile needs to be linked. And it's something we have to do manually for 750 events.
So how could we see what we have sent you? Where is that at?
Any form that you fill out, you should get a confirmation email.
I think she's asking to see it on the portal.
On the portal?
Yeah, it will be uploaded to the portal. That's the point.
Yeah.
Well,
we are currently in the process of uploading to the portal all of these events and all
we
of
have
the
to we have to
changes.
do all of this manually, and we probably we have hundreds of responses so far, so it takes us a little time, but it'll all be uploaded by the forum. Don't worry.
Right. Right now we're 1 month out of the let's say a little less than 1 month out of the forum. So we are putting up all of this information, knowing that March 1st is the deadline for any changes. So changes are coming in and those have to be updated as well. So it's probably best to do all of that together.
So
Also,
still, if I wanted to be linked up to our profile, I would need to complete a change form?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will also just say because the information, the initial form that you all sent with the initial information to put on your page, all of that is mostly up there. We are having some issues like the back end of the portal company is having issues with the files and the videos that you all sent in. So we're still working on getting those in, but they will be all updated like next week. So don't worry if most of your stuff is there, but then some of the files or videos are not there or are weird or something. We're aware and we're working on that.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. Before I go on to a couple more hands, I just want to take a look here at the chat. There's a reposting the question for organizations that are ECOSOC accredited. Will there be a chance to monitor the UN CSW event? That is not under our control. We are also asking the same question, and we have not gotten anything confirmed from UN Women. So I suggest that people can also refer to the UN Women participation and registration page on the UN Women website. We, of course, are advocating in different spaces for observer status. And because of COVID, a lot of these guidelines have changed. And we have been, as you know, held back from attending these UN events. So once we have information, of course, we always put it out there, anything we hear from UN Women, but currently there's no confirmation about will it be open to NGOs or not. So let me take a few more questions. I have Cheryl Hales, Cheryl, and Yasmin Harada.
I'm here.
Hi, Cheryl.
I have to put my glasses so I can see you. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Sorry. So my question is regarding the change form and access to that. We've hired a company, an events company, to run the webinar because it's just less stressful for us to do that than to try to manage every piece ourselves. Can we send the change form to the events company so that they can do all that needs to be done? Or is it email sensitive? So your communication with me is to my email, or can I just copy and send it off to the events company for them to manage that? Devin?
Yeah, so Yeah, so the events company can definitely just do it and communicate with us. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay,
Yep.
because what's happening now, when I go in and try to respond, it throws, the Google form connects to my work Google, because that's Google Suites we use at work, but I don't use that on my own platform. And then because work is confidential or a secure system, it locks me out, so I can't do anything. But if I send it to the events company, they should be able to access no problem, right?
Yeah, that should work. Yeah, and as long as they just have like, you know, the event information, so that we can obviously identify the event to make the changes, yeah, then it's totally fine.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. And thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you so much. I think Huri had the same system because she got locked out of her own system momentarily. Okay, Yasmin, is this the same question as in the chat? And in the meantime, just to reiterate what Devin has put in, there's a question. You can use whatever virtual meeting platform you'd like. You can use Google Hangout. You can use any other Teams, any other virtual platform that you'd like. It does not have to be Zoom. Yasmin? Okay, maybe it was the same one. I have, if you can also put your pans down if you asked the question already so that I can see who's next. I think I have Luisa.
Yes, please. Thank you. I'm sorry, but my question, I know it has already been asked, but I still don't get it. It's about the time zone, because I register at 12 p.m. and on the portal, no, sorry, at 1 p.m. My event was 1 p.m. on the portal and 12. So I just wanted to know if I need to change the whole event in front and warn people that it's 1 hour earlier, or whether the schedule on the platform will change. I'm sorry, I'm really lost about it.
So one, I would definitely just say, don't overthink it. Whatever it says on the portal is the time that your event will be on the day of your event. Everything that's on the portal is set to EDT, and then it's converted to whatever time zone you're in. So just trust the event, the date and the time on the portal, and that's what time it will be.
So I have now it on my Google Calendar, and it's 1 hour earlier from what I initially planned. So I need to change and warn all the speakers of my event then.
Well, I would say go to the portal and look at that time. That's what Devin is saying. Not so much your Google Calendar, but go to the portal to double check the time.
I'm so sorry. This is Yasmin again. I just want to clarify because I'm going through the same thing and I think there's a misunderstanding. Am I able to just pitch in here just for a little bit?
Well, we do have Nalini, who is next, and I just want to get back to Luisa. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, hi. Thank you for all your hard work.
Well, hold on one second, Nalini. I just want to make sure that Luisa's question is answered. Pardon.
No problem.
I'm going to the portal, but again, for me, it's like I need to change my event from 1 hour, but I'm going to check again.
Okay. Why don't we just take your name and just make sure that we'll double check it on our end.
Okay.
And if you can just put your email in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I will do it. Thank you very
Lisa.
much. Thank you
Nalini,
so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Thanks. This is so much useful information. Thank you. I had a question. I wonder if it's been asked before. So I use the change form to put my flyer, to link my flyer in for the event. How do I send my flyer?
Go ahead, Devin.
Through the change request form.
Thank you.
You can add everything there.
All right.
And I would compile all your information to send one time. Right?
Yes,
Because-
yeah. So on the change request form, there's questions for like all the different things on your event page. So you can send like multiple edits in the one form submission. So I definitely recommend, yeah, like you know, if you have to wait a little bit to submit it to get the information, you know, finalize any information. But yeah, there's you can send one form and make like changes to everything in that one form submission.
And I assume that since we didn't receive any different email telling us otherwise, the time we have requested is the time at which our talk will be, our event will be.
Did you receive your acceptance email?
When we first registered, yes.
So no, so that's the confirmation of your application. You should have received an acceptance email from us with the time that we scheduled your event for. We couldn't schedule everyone's events for the times that they requested. So if you email us at, I'll put the email in the chat, info@ngocsw.org, we can resend that acceptance email to you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Great. And I don't know if this is an older question, but I'm just saying that, did you explain, Devin, how to designate a page manager?
Yeah, so that's, you have to do it through the change request form. So,
okay.
And again, like a page manager, you really can't manage your page. It'll just have your profile linked to the event page. You can't, the only thing you can do is upload files. You can't like make any changes to this description or title or any of that. Yeah.
And then another question that I saw was, can we currently now change our date of the parallel event?
Yes, if you need a totally new
date or time.
Yeah, email us. I'll put our email again, and we can change it for you. Yeah.
And how do you find your own event on the portal?
Search for there is the search feature, I guess, so you can search directly for it, or using your host organization. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Don't see any other hands up. Just reiterating what I'm seeing here on the chat, the deadline to submit any changes to parallel events is March 1st. After that, if you need to change it, you can, but it will cost you $25 because we have to bring in other technical support for that. Let's see, any other changes?
Joy, the agenda will not include side events. Side events are for the UN CSW, and this is a totally separate thing. So it's just forum events. And same thing with like UN Women doesn't have any of our parallel events or our events on their website.
Okay. Do we have any other hands up? I think Nalini, I think that's an old hand. Yasmin, I think, is that an old hand? Oh, I see Beth. Beth.
Sorry.
Beth Blissman, hi.
Thanks, Rosa. This is a new hand coming in here. Just for the sake of the folks who are perhaps brand new at this, I know it's so confusing, and deep thanks to you, Rosa and Pamela, for co-chairing this fabulous event, and Devin and Hori putting it all together. Just for folks who are asking about the events with UN Women, this is something it took me a long time to understand, that the events that would, if we were there in person, they'd be called side events. They would occur literally inside the UN. So think side events are inside the UN. that whole list is organized by UN Women. And I believe Jordi probably put this in the chat, but you can go to the Indigo, which is the usual UN sign-on for various commission events, and you can put in your email and register through Indigo to get on the UN Women mailing list, right? So you'll get a list of side events when they're available. Do I have that correct? And that's something totally different from NGO CSW, which does
Right, it is.
Forum.
It is, thank you, because there are also a couple of questions. So I'm wondering if Huri, you want to come in? There's a question also about the Indigo list link. And maybe you can just explain how that is working right now.
Sure. So Indigo,
Thanks,
which some of it, first of all, this conversation is only for ECOSOC accredited organizations. And anybody who's not, don't feel left out. You got us, we got your back. But those of you who are ECOSOC accredited, meaning that you can engage within UN, you will probably know that there's an Indigo website that you either have a profile, or if you don't, your organization can give you permission to add a profile. Because every organization in the past used to have 7 to 8 badges, let's say, right? So they would only allow, and large organizations had to go through selection process. I don't want to make this a long description and explanation, but just to give you an idea. So there's no CSW passes being issued today at all. I mean, this year, no CSW badges. And for the annual badges, they're limiting it to only 3. So even if you're in New York City and your organization gives you a badge, that annual badge does not guarantee you access to CSW. You can get into the building if the building is open, but you can't get into the rooms because the rooms where member states are negotiating is going to be socially distanced, what they're calling 1 to 6. So every 6 seats, one person sits down. We at NGO CSW are working with member states to make sure we do have influence. We're working with them to bring our recommendations to member states. As all of you know, there's going to be another follow-up meeting with the methods of work. So there is advocacy with member states. And we also are trying to create a virtual Vienna Cafe for specific advocates to interact with member states. But we don't have, like we used to, walking around the but now, having said that, there's an advantage this year. You don't even have to be in New York. UN Women, Indigo, is allowing up to 100 email addresses per organization. If you have a large organization, 100 people can sign up their emails to get information on CSW66. I'll try to get the Indigo link and put it in the chat as soon as I'm done. But you have to have a profile on Indigo. And then once you sign up, the head of your organization or the secretary, whoever is in charge, has to approve you. And then you get an email that says CSW66, UN Women, and then you start getting information. Having said that, you can still have access to side events. Side events are public. They're going to be listed on UN Women website. I would say if not by next week, the week after the latest. Apparently there is an uptick for member states side events. There's about 150 already, which is more than last year, and they're expecting a little bit more. So there will be opportunities to go to member state side events. The list will be published on UN Women within 2 weeks. And we also shared that link too. That link will be available somewhere on our website, on our portal, because it is, most of these events are public. Some will be limited. You have to sign up, and then if they want you, they'll send you an email. I think I covered everything, Rosa.
I think so. And I'm so grateful because, you know, people want to know. Ellen Ferranti is saying our annual UN passes are limited to 3 organizations. Yeah. Three persons, sorry. Yes, that's what has been done. That's why this CSW and being engaged is so important, because we have to keep raising these issues and we have to keep knocking on the door of the UN that it needs to remain open. So I promise Yasmin, very brief, Yasmin, one more, since we don't have hands. Nalini, is that an old hand? I think that's an old hand. So let me ask for Yasmin. I know you want clarification.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to understand with the timing because I think there's a discrepancy. On the portal, it says EET. And so if, Yani, I'm opening up my my event, it says 12 p.m. EET. So 12 p.m. EET in my time, it means it's an hour earlier than what I've registered for. So what you guys are saying that the portal should be EDT. If it's 12 p.m. EDT, this is, I just need clarification on that. That's why I'm not really understanding.
So,
well,
like I said before,
can I just clarify that there is a time zone EET?
Yes.
It's your time zone.
No, yeah. No, I know
zone.
exactly. I know exactly what she's saying. So the portal automatically puts all the times and dates in the time zone that you're sitting in. So for example, the portal for me says EDT, the portal for you says EET, someone in wherever says something else. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So if it's 12 p.m. EET, it means 12 p.m. my time, but when I registered for 1 p.m. EET. And so it's just an hour, but I just need to clarify just so I won't take someone else's place. That's it.
Yeah. So whatever's on the portal, that's, so what it says that you said 12 p.m. EET, I think, right? Is what it shows.
Portal,
yeah. So that's correct. That's what, yeah.
So it changed from what we registered for.
He wants to change her time, I think.
Yeah, if you want to, if you want us to make it a certain time, we totally can. But
because it changed, that's why. So I registered for 1 p.m. EET, but this is saying 12 p.m.
Okay.
So that's why I'm just trying to so we're able to change just in case.
Do you want to keep 12 EET?
Yeah, if you want it to be.
I need to go back to my speakers and see because we told them it's 1 p.m.
Because we
but
can
I don't know why it changed.
We can also just make the change. Like
just submit it.
I was surprised why it changed. That's why.
I just want to jump.
Oversight.
I want to jump.
150.
Sometimes it's oversight, but sometimes we saw 15 events asking for the same time, and we adjusted it so that it's a little bit like
staggered.
Okay, if that's it, then sure. If you guys adjusted it, I'm just trying to understand what happened there. That's all. Okay, great.
Right.
I'll let you know if we need to change the timing just to get back to my
but again, you do have until March 1st if you do want that definite time, if your speakers know it.
For sure,
so
for sure,
just
for
submit.
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Huri is right. We wanted to stagger them and spread them out because you don't want to have an event when you're competing with 20 other events.
No, 100%.
So So right now, it's kind of even spread out the events. So okay, thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you, Yasmin.
Great,
all right. So let's go to any other hands. I don't see any. Let's go to the chat.
I think Shayla has her hand up. That's a new one.
Okay, Shayla, yes.
Thank you so much. So just picking up on what you just said about not having all the events clustered at one time zone. So I noticed that mine is at 11 o'clock and there are indeed 20 other events at that time. And I noticed at 10 o'clock, there's hardly any. Is there a reason? Is there a town hall meeting at the UN? Then that's why you avoided that time frame of 10 o'clock and you put almost about, I don't know, 15 at 11 o'clock. And I'm one of the 15 on Friday, March 18th. So just trying to understand.
There was probably 30 requests for that time, and that's why there's 15 and not 30. Seriously.
Yes.
Imagine if there's over 750 events, and
Sure.
for some reason, the second and third day, like the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is like hundreds of them.
Okay.
So we try to like balance out as much as possible. So I just threw out a number right now.
No worries. But what I'm saying is I noticed at 10 o'clock, there's barely any, maybe one or two at 10 o'clock on March 18th.
I think that might be like the portal didn't load it or something, because I don't think that's true. That's probably one of the most popular times, I would say, between 9 to 5 on the first week in New York time. We have at least 10 events happening during each time slot.
Understood.
Yes, I know, because our event is that morning too.
Yeah, mine's at 11 and there are about 15, but oh well.
Also,
well.
I put in the chat the UN Women's side event calendar and the official calendar. I put in the chat because the UN, the CSW will also have the official calendar, and we know those sessions start at 10. And it will also have the calendar for side events. So we're also competing with that.
Yeah, I do apologize. I checked again on the portal, and at 10 o'clock, there's one event on March 18th, one event. And then at 11 o'clock, there's when mine is there, there's a lot. So I'm just curious.
They probably haven't been loaded
They
yet.
haven't loaded? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Thank you. Simran Singh. Hi, Simran. Yeah.
Hi.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. I represent International Cooperative Alliance Asia and Pacific, and I'm currently based in India. I just have two short questions. One, along with the attendees, do the speakers of our parallel event, do they also have to register on the portal first and then access our Zoom link or the registration page created by me? That is one question. The other question is, it was mentioned that the NGO CSW will be coming up with recommendations. So just curious to know, how are you planning to collate all the insights from 700 plus events and share with CSW later on?
Thank you.
First question, no. So technically you can, and this goes for everyone, you can send your event link to whomever, and they can just go directly through that link, so they don't necessarily have to make a profile in the portal. And for the second question, we don't do that. I don't know if maybe like Hootie or Rosa or Pamela want to jump in, but.
Hootie?
Second question, I'm multitasking, I'm sorry.
Well, you know, there are recommendations that come in.
Yes, recommendations.
Yes.
Okay, so we have done several, we have created several opportunities for people to input recommendations already. And what happens with the parallel events is really information sharing and creation of opportunities to really learn and share your work, right? So, and more importantly, whatever comes up from your own event that you find like something really important came up that you want to submit as a recommendation, we really encourage to do your own advocacy as well. For example, reaching, if not your own member state, then try to reach locally even, right? So there's, and we've done advocacy, and by the way, we're going to do advocacy training on the first and second day of this forum as well. So you learn a lot about different ways that your voice can be heard. So, you know, we really do encourage you to do your own advocacy with your local government and also find ways of reaching member states. So at this point, we are not collecting 750 recommendations during CSW to bring into member states. That happens leading up to it, but we also train our participants to do their own advocacy as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Hootie. Great. Let's see, any other, Simran, we answered your questions, right? Any other questions here in the chat? Mainly there are a lot of thank yous, and we appreciate that, and really showing, expressing gratitude for all of this. especially for just addressing so many of these questions. Yes, Simran, do you have one more?
I will take Shayla's. I will take Shayla's. Lunch, drinks, anything. Thank you, Shayla. We have to laugh, right? I mean, this is a lot of stress, and we really do want everybody to feel like they're heard and they matter, and your opinions will go through, but we're failing sometimes too. So just please be patient with us. Sorry, Rosa.
No problem. Okay, let's see. I think that we are seeing so many expressions of gratefulness. I think we expired all the questions. I think so. Is there any other? And this is amazing. And Ellen Ferrante says, I'll buy you lunch and Prosecco. I'm in on that too. Okay. Thank you so much for all your wonderful messages.
Rosa.
Yes.
Is it $50 to attend consultation day?
Yes.
Consultation day, yes.
In person, in person.
$50 in person, really for people who are here already in New York. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen a month out, but we're wishing for the best. And it's going to be, with very safe protocols that the Apollo Theater has in place. Yeah, maybe we can put the registration link. This is for,
I just want to make sure that the live streaming is free. Yeah.
Yes.
That live streaming is free. You don't have to pay to watch consultation.
Okay.
The live streaming is free, and there will also be a consultation day for Asia Pacific region. I believe it's like on the 28th of February. We will post all of these once we get all the dates in. For Latin America and the Caribbean on the 13th, for the NGO CSW Geneva and Vienna on the 12th, for the Africa region on the 13th, 14th overlapping, and for the MENA region as well, I believe on the 12th. So we will have all of that for you to tap in, and for Africa as well, to tap into those consultation days as well.
Just as a heads up, I wanted to say, Jorge, I clicked on the link for Indigo and it came up saying that this is not a registration page. Just as a heads up, I don't know, it just, the message there was, it was not a registration. I don't know if that helps.
All right.
I think they are saying that it's not a registration, but it's like a sign up to a mailing list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it should still get you like on the mailing list. Yep.
Thank you.
Great. So Myra says, was this session taped? How can I see it? I missed most of it. Yes, this session is taped. If you want to see 2 hours again of this, it is. But we also have other training sessions, specifically on parallel events or for going on the portal. All of those are on the YouTube channel of NGO CSW. So with this, I just want to give my partners here a chance to also say thank you and goodbye. On my behalf, I want to say thank you so much. I want to apologize for my colegas in America Latina y el Caribe. We do not have the funding right now for translation and for Francophone Africa. And we do apologize, but we're trying the most that we can to be able to provide ways of how to relay that information. One way is to really tap into your regional NGO CSW, and they will have information in different languages. So thank you so much. Please stay safe, stay in touch, and we will see you online. Hootie and Pamela, if you please want to jump in and say goodbye, and Devin.
Yes, thank you. If anybody wants to unmute and hear their voice, please do so. There's only 150 left from 300 something. So but while we say goodbye, thank you all.
And thank you all. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you
to see
so much. It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks so much.
Somebody is trying to ask a question. It's like the real CSW.
Little taste, right? A little taste.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Safe.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Adios.
Goodbye, everyone. All righty.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So much for being here.
Bye.